The Galaxy Buds 2 Pro might just be the best Galaxy Buds Samsung has made. Let's get into it.
Now everybody scream enough respect to the X. Enough respect given.
So the fit of the Buds 2 is very comfortable. They go in very easily. Of course, my right ear always wants to fight me on wearing buds. You can see that it's not in as snug as the left ear. But overall, they fit very well. The look of them does give to a very balanced look when they're in your ears. I do like the way they look a lot. Of course, I have the purple one, so that it does kind of stand out when you wear them. Others might prefer the black, so it's more neutral. But overall, very good fit, very good feel. That's one thing about buds. The way they fit and the way they feel are two separate things. Some buds could fit well, but not feel good after any certain amount of time. For me, the AirPods, those fit in my ear, there's no doubt, but I can't wear them for any extended period of time. These, on the other hand, also fit well, and they're comfortable enough that they feel good, and I can wear them for extended periods of time. And that there is a distinction that must be made. The fit of them and the feel of them are not the same. These ones cover both aspects very well. Okay, so out and about with the Buds 2 Pro. The first thing that I notice as I go through the various genres of music is the same thing I said in my preview of these buds. They somehow accentuate the middle area, almost more so than the front and the end. There are some songs there, like it's the theme song to Spy X Family. I don't remember the name offhand right now, but I played the song a few times. It's become a favorite of mine. But hearing them in these, I noticed that there was a synthesizer in the background mimicking the foreground. Now, with other buds, you heard it pop in and out. With these, you actually hear the entire line. So it's not that they are louder than those other buds, but the separation of the instruments is more pronounced. It really brings forth the midtones in a very clean fashion, and I think that is what Samsung was going for this time around. These things are clean. They don't necessarily sound better than the original Pros or any of my other buds, but they are cleaner. A lot of the drums, the percussions, voice, it just has a crispness to it that I assume is the 24 bit that they advertise that these can do. So if that was the case, there's a very nice sound from them. I heard it with a few songs. There's a song, Murberry Street by 21 Pilots. When the song first begins, there's a crescendo in the back. With regular earbuds, you hear the drop, and it gradually drops and it stops at a point. With these, it stops at a point after the point you would normally hear. Because the buds, at least the buds that I have, or maybe it's how I hear things, I never heard the last second and a half of that crescendo. It does sound like a lot, but when you are used to hearing it one way, then you realize there was more to it. It helps build out the song that much more, and that crescendo is all through the song. Parts that I never heard it before because the other earbuds that I have, as good as some of them are, weren't as clean with the instrumental separation, or they did not bring out the middle ground as much as these do. Now, with single ear use of the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, it does lose some audio information when you take away one of the buds, but again, to be expected, as you know, these things are made to be used in tandem. These things are made to be used together. But I am happy to say that though you do lose some of it, it doesn't take away from the overall audio experience. The Buds 2 still carry a lot of the audio signal from both buds, so the bass is there still. The low end, though not as pronounced, is still audible. The mid area, though it does lose some information, again to be expected, you can still hear a lot of the mid area that I spoke of that is so much more pronounced with these buds than others, even with only one earbud in. And the high end, again, it still sounds good. It's not surround sound, again, to be especially with one ear, but it does still sound good. So I have to say that as far as one ear use goes, these are one of my favorite buds to use. I went through a whole audiobook with using only one ear of these, and it didn't take away from the experience as far as I was concerned. And it was one of those books that have the multiple characters and has the soundtrack, and they play a little ending song between each chapter. It was a whole performance, and I used only one bud for the whole book, and I felt like I was right there with it. I'm sure it would have been even that much more engaging with both buds in. But with the one bud, I didn't feel like I was losing out on anything, because these buds do carry that sound well, even with only one bud in. So I can say I really do enjoy using these things with only one bud. Other earbuds, maybe not as much, especially the comfort that these have. You can really have these things in for 3-4 hours at a time, and your ear will not suffer much ear fatigue, if any. And I can say that from experience, as these have become the main buds that I use. Again, with that audiobook, these things were in for hours at a time, the same ear that you're seeing. And not once did I have to say, man, let me take these out because my ears hurt. It was like, what's the next chapter? Let's go. So as far as one bud goes, or the one bud test, these pass without question. One of my favorite buds to use with only one ear if I have to. Now, like with most high-end earbuds, these do offer an ambient sound mode. Now, the ambient sound is when the buds amplify the outside noise around them, so you can hear what's going on around you to try your best to be safe, not to get hit by buses or trains or bump into people. Now, with these, it works actually pretty well. You're able to hear what is going on. It doesn't adjust to the different levels of sound like some other buds do, like the Sony earbuds are known for that. The new AirPods Pro 2, they also do something very similar to that. But for what they do, it works. It lets in just enough outside noise that you are fully aware of your surroundings and can enjoy your music. Okay, I'm unable to actually share with you how the noise canceling sounds, but what I can try and do is simulate the noise canceling by adjusting the volume on the video to try to emulate what I hear when I turn the noise canceling on. So let's try it out. So as you can hear, some sound still does come in. The words from songs and all that do pierce the veil of the noise canceling. But overall, it's a really good experience. Car horns, birds, just ambient noise. It's pretty much drowned out almost completely with these things. As far as battery life goes, the Galaxy Buds Pro 2 haven't failed me. I'm not one of those YouTubers who use it to kill it. I use it to actually use it. And as long as it gets me through my day, I have very few complaints. Now, my day is typically using these buds maybe 4 hours during my break. My breaks tend to be kind of long. I do a run in the AM, my break, then I go do the rest of my run in the PM. And normally, once I'm done my first route or my first run, I throw in the buds, whether it's to do an audiobook or watch a show, make a call, but they are constantly being used during that break. And never have I went to grab them and they didn't have enough power to get me through. Now, granted, I use the buds and then I put them back in the case. And when I get home, I put them on a charger, or if I have my phone with me, which I always do, I put on the back of one of my phones if I feel I need to top them up. So for my use, these are great. They last long enough that I can do what I need to do with them. And when I'm no longer using them, they charge quickly enough that they're ready to go when I need to use them next. So looking at the audio app for the Buds 2 Pro, if you have any kind of Samsung earbuds at all, you will automatically recognize how this app looks and how this app works. Here we have the active noise canceling and the ambient sound. Of course, on the buds, you're able to adjust this by tapping the bud itself, or if you in the app, you can just press it, and now I can hear it that much more, or press it again, and now I hear it that much more still as it's pumping in the sound. Let's go back to noise canceling, because there are kids at the park running around. Now, the voice detect is what the buds use when you speak, and it turns on the ambient sound so that you can hear what the person you're speaking to is saying, and it also drops the volume of what you are listening to. Very handy. In my testing, it works fine. Not as well as what Sony has, because their own works amazingly well. And this isn't that different, but you can tell that the Sony ones work more. With these, it still tends to deactivate before your conversation is over. It's not as bad as it was with the Buds 2, but it's still there. Now here you have the 360 audio. Let me go in that. This is what provides the simulated surround sound. If you are familiar with Apple's spatial audio, it's pretty much the same thing. Now, in my testing of this feature, it's still not as good as what Apple has. I have to give it to Apple. Whatever magic they use to have that thing transition so smooth from left to right as you move your head around is amazing. This is still better than, again, the Buds 2. But with the Buds 2, as you can see these zones here, the Buds 2 literally jump from zone to zone, but it wasn't smooth. You would hear it on one end, then there would be like a pause, then you'd hear it in the front, then a pause, and you hear it at the side. It wasn't particularly good at all how it did it. So I would offer this to turn the 360 audio off on the Buds 2. But on the Buds 2 Pro, as you can see, it is on, because it actually really works well. Now, you can see here they do have head tracking. That's when you turn your head, the audio still appears to come from the direction of the device. Now, I find this like a type of gimmick. I mean, it does work, but I mean, if you just don't wear earbuds, the sound will come from the device. But I guess if you don't like the 360 audio and you want that type of simulation with earbuds on, it works fine. But the thing is, sometimes it doesn't track properly, and that can be a little confusing because you'll have your phone, let's say, to your right, and when you move it, it doesn't properly follow the device. So with me, I turned it off because I did find it to be somewhat annoying because that misstep in the tracking happened more often than not. So I just decided it's not really for me in most cases. Now you have your touch controls, which it does have a lot of options. Of course, you can turn them off completely if that's simply not for you. You just want to use your phone to control your device. Of course, I have the tap for playback, double tap for next track, triple track for previous track, and touch and hold. Now, when you go into the touch and hold, you do have your options of what you want the touch and hold to do. So again, you can set this to be controlled how you want it to be. You have voice command, volume down, and Spotify. And again, it's the same thing. With me, I have switch noise control with all of mine because I find that to work out very well. Now, sometimes, at least with my other earbuds, I did have the Spotify to be one of the touch and holds. Actually, I might do that now because I know I had that before. Let's do it on the right side because that's where I had it the last time. Now, some people might say, why not use the foot volume up and down instead of having to go onto your device, to your phone? Well, Samsung did have a nice little trick when it came to controlling the volume from the earbuds. So I didn't use it here because I have it in a different part of the app. If you go into this here, I think earbud settings, you have all these different settings for the earbuds. You have your equalizer. I have mine set to a dynamic. It sounds great, but the bass boost on certain songs and soft on others again works well. It depends on how you want to hear what you're playing, and having the option to change the sound of the earbuds really does help, especially if you are an audio enthusiast like myself. Now, they don't have the manual sliders like with some other apps. You can get a third-party app to get that back, even though Samsung at one point did have that. It's no longer here, which kind of bums me out. You have your earbud fit test. Works fine for me with the first earbuds that I actually put on. You touch this and it actually allows you to put on the bud and it will play a series of sounds. And I guess how the sound reverberates through your ear lets you know if you have a good seal with the buds. As you know, the ambient sound and noise cancelling does require a very good seal, and if the seal isn't there, well, then you aren't getting the proper use of the function. And now read notifications out loud. That's, you know, exactly what it is when you get a text or an email. It will just read it to you and you can choose to respond or not. Here is the use ambient sound during calls. When a call comes in, it will allow the sound around you to come in so you aren't completely blocked off. And as you can see, according to them, it will make long calls more. It will make long calls more comfortable and natural, because your sound or your voice will sound as it is supposed to be, not robotic and static. Now, the seamless earbud connection does work. When I use these things with, let's say, my Tab S8 Ultra and my phone, if I'm watching something on the Ultra and the phone rings, I hear the phone ring in the buds, and when I connect to the phone, it automatically switches over. It's a pretty smooth transition. So I think on some people will compare that to the earpods for the iPhone and the iPad. It does just as well in my use. It works. And though I don't use that often because I'm often not home to have my tablet and my phone next to each other for that type of transition to occur, when it does work, I'm always surprised and pleased with how well it does work. Now, a feature that is not lauded that much is neck stretch reminder. You have no idea how often I have been told to raise my neck. I'm just when you sit down and you watch something with the buds on, you're playing music, you don't realize how long your neck is in a position that is not healthy for your muscles, and you get those neck cramps and all of that. This does remind you to actually stretch your neck, and it shows you how to stretch your neck too. So when I realized how often it was telling me to do that, I actually really tried to adjust my posture with the earbuds to not be reminded as much, because you feel the way when it's like, yeah, your neck has been down way too long, stretch, or you're gonna hurt. So this works really well, and I think more earbuds should have these quality of life applications to them. Now, do you remember when I was talking to you guys about the volume? It's in here where they have this very neat feature, the double tap earbud edge. If I go to this, it says double tap the edge of the earbud and it will adjust the volume. But what it doesn't say is it is so sensitive. You actually don't need to touch the earbud itself. You can touch right along the side of your face near the earbud and it will still adjust the volume just fine. Watch. Press play. Now watch. It's kind of loud. It actually works really well. So overall, the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro are actually really good earbuds for the money. They added enough extra features to it to make it sound like you did get a much newer, much more robust pair of earbuds compared to previous years. Now, if you have the earbuds 2, the one that came out right before this, you might question, should you get these? Me personally, I think so. A lot of the features that were kind of gimmicky with the earbuds 2, like the voice detection, which didn't particularly work well, the 360 sound, which again didn't work well. They touched up on this and it works a lot better. The sound quality had also been improved to the point where you do hear a difference with what you play. I can't say really anything bad about these when you compare it to the previous version. The audio control is a great addition, but now you have full control of your earbuds without it being too finicky, simply because I don't have to touch the edge of the earbud to control the volume. I can touch my face, and the rest of the controls are on the bud. So now you have full control over sound, tracks, play, pause, and calls all around your ear. It's just a very nice experience to have. So yeah, if you're looking for earbuds and you happen to have an Android device, particularly a Samsung one, then I do know that some of these features don't work as well, like the 360 sound. I think that is a feature unique to Samsung devices. I would look into these. The other ones are regularly on sale, but for the price difference, which isn't really that much, maybe $30 to $40 price difference in some cases, the Buds 2 Pro are a very good purchase. So with that said, my name is NG, the Next, and enjoying the Buds 2 Pro with my Samsung device. This is what I'm into.